Hello, my name is Karen. Welcome to Young Africa Life Skills. Today we are doing HIV AIDS awareness and sexually transmitted diseases. Our inspiration comes from the World AIDS Day organization, which highlights that ignorance and prejudice are fueling the spread of a preventable disease. There's opportunity for people to unite and come together and fight HIV and AIDS. It is up to you, me, to prevent the spread of HIV and AIDS and end prejudice. In this lesson, you learn the causes, the transmission, and how HIV spread can be prevented. You also learn the basic facts of HIV and AIDS, how they are spread, and how they can be prevented. According to UNAIDS 2015, the leading cause of death of young people in Africa is AIDS. AIDS has also become the second cause of leading death worldwide. UNICEF 2017 highlights that there's been an increase in the number of adolescents living with HIV by 30% since 2005 to 2016. What is HIV? HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. It attaches itself to the white blood cells, destroying them. Once a person is infected with HIV, there is no cure. There are antiretroviral drugs that are there to prolong one's life. What is AIDS? AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. It is not acquired through genes, but it is acquired after birth or through unprotected sexual intercourse with an infected person. Immune simply means that the immunity of one has been destroyed. Deficient simply means that there are no white blood cells to protect that person from diseases, or the helper T4 lymphocyte cells have been destroyed. Syndrome simply implies that there is a group of diseases. What is the difference between HIV and AIDS? HIV causes AIDS, and AIDS is a group of diseases. HIV leads to AIDS depending with one's immunity, or depending whether if somebody is taking ARVs or not. How is HIV transmitted? HIV is transmitted by having unprotected sexual intercourse with an infected person. It is also transmitted from the mother to the child during birth, during delivery, and during breastfeeding. HIV can also be transmitted through transfusion of blood. It can also be transmitted through using needles that have been used by other people living with HIV. How do we prevent the spread of HIV? HIV can be prevented by always using condoms, consistently making sure that you are faithful to a partner who is also faithful to you. When a woman is pregnant, there should be implementation of preventing to child transmission. A mother should go to the clinic or to the hospital to be checked whether they are HIV positive or not. They are then given medication to prevent transmission of the disease to the child during birth. HIV is also prevented from being spread by making sure that the blood products have been sterilized before blood transfusion. You should always avoid using needles that have been used by other people. HIV is not transmitted through surfaces, such as sharing toilet seats with people living with HIV. It is not transmitted through utensils. It is not transmitted through non-sexual contact, such as hugging. The spread of HIV through kisses is very minimal because there is a small amount of HIV in saliva, unless both partners have got open wounds or unless they've got bleeding gums. Mosquitoes cannot spread HIV because they do not inject blood in human beings. Anyone can acquire HIV. It does not affect a certain group of people. And you cannot tell whether one is HIV positive or negative. You can only tell if they go for an HIV test. It's now time for an activity. I want you to state whether you agree or disagree with the following statements. Can you tell somebody has HIV by looking at them? Can HIV be spread through sharing utensils, a handshake, hugging, or sharing a toilet seat with people living with HIV? Can HIV be transmitted through mosquitoes? Can HIV be transmitted through blood transfusion with infected blood? Can one acquire HIV through having sex with multiple partners? Can HIV be transmitted through unprotected sexual intercourse with an infected person? Welcome back. We now want to look at sexually transmitted diseases. These are diseases that are spread through having sex with an infected person. There are different types of sexually transmitted diseases. Some can be viral, which are persistent, and some can be bacterial, which can be easily treated. Examples of viral infections are HIV, herpes simplex, and human papillomavirus. Examples of bacterial STDs are syphilis, gonorrhea, and chlamydia. What are the common signs of sexually transmitted infections? Some people can even go for days, weeks, or even months without showing any signs of sexually transmitted infections, yet they are spreading them to other people. But however, there are some common signs of sexually transmitted infections, such as urethral or vaginal discharge, itchy, smelly discharge, ulcers on genital or private parts, rash on private parts, or abdominal pain. One can even have warts. What is the link between HIV and STIs? It has been discovered that people with STIs and HIV are more likely to spread HIV to other people. What is the link between HIV and STIs? It has been discovered that people with STIs or STDs are more likely to acquire HIV than people who don't have. It has also been discovered that people living with HIV and with STIs are more likely to spread HIV to other people. What are the complications of sexually transmitted diseases? Sexually transmitted diseases cause infertility problems, problems in pregnancy, heart diseases, eye inflammation. They can even cause cancers. They can even cause inflammatory diseases such as PID. How do you prevent sexually transmitted diseases? Abstinence is the most effective way of preventing the spread of sexually transmitted infection. One should also make sure that they correctly and consistently use condoms. You should be faithful to a partner who is also faithful to you. Whenever you have had unprotected sexual intercourse or whenever you feel that you have been exposed to a sexually transmitted infection, you should go to your local health center and be screened for a sexually transmitted infections. Most sexually transmitted infections are treatable. However, there are some that are not treatable, that are viral. Instead, you can be given medication to prevent the further transmission of the infection or to lower down the symptoms. We have now come to the end of this session. I want you to recite this affirmation with me. I want to live. I want to preserve my life. I preserve the life of my partners. I want to live. I want to preserve my life. I preserve the life of my partners. What have you learned in this session? How will you change your sexual relations? Thank you. See you soon.